Alright, buckle up. Better yet, buckle up twice. This review is about as interesting of a roller coaster as the game was. Ultrakill is a fever dream with excessive bullets, enough blood to cover the universe, and speed that would break the neck of Superman. Picture Doom on a sprinkle of fentanyl and having a caffeine overdose at the same time. Instead of Narcan, we have to suck up that blood like some sort of sick vacuum. So let's just casually mosey on through my 10-point grading system and see if it deserves this cult-like status. Hit that like button or V1 will coin ricochet your notifications into oblivion. And before we get started, please put on your helmet. Safety first. Now let's rev up the railgun and dissect this atrocity to my eyes. Getting into Ultrakill is like butt chugging an energy drink while skydiving off the Empire State Building. The combo chaining style ranks and enemy health ooze make Poppy thirsty for more. But holy overstimulated. It can be insanely overwhelming with enemies swarming from every angle, turning fun into a chaotic blur if your brain is not optimized for seizures and ADHD. Once you learn to embrace the bus stop crackhead energy, it's pure unfiltered fun. -1 for upping my Excedrin budget. That is going to be a solid 8 out of 10. This game is unique and quirky as hell, not taking itself overly serious. You're basically dashing through hell like a possessed Roomba on steroids. Weapon variants, parries, and movement tech like rocket surfing keep encounters fresh and hilarious. The quirkiness can tip into absurdity though, where some mechanics feel like they're trolling you on purpose, leading to deaths that you have no idea how they even happened. But towing the edge of absurdity makes it really stand out. The gameplay is just quirky enough without going too far and ekes out a strong 9 out of 10. Precise to a fault with snappy aiming, seamless dashes, and parries that reward split-second timing. Once you start getting used to the movement, it's like the most cracked dose of caffeine with extra severe anxiety. That kind of precision demands terminal ADHD with a touch of TikTok brain rot to grasp the ridiculous mechanic stacks. I've botched simple arm swaps because my fingers just couldn't keep up with the insanity. Yet I get this understanding that it's all tuned for the chaos, landing a sharp 9 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, the boss rants were cool. Gabriel was pretty much the most badass character in this game with the best design and voice acting. Ultrakill leans more ranch than chicken wing. There ain't much meat on these bones. There's not much depth to the story, and that's okay. The gameplay speaks for itself. While this technically isn't part of the main story, my viewers clued me into some secret levels. Please, I beg of you, skip 2S, the dating sim nobody asked for. And let me tell you, I wanted to boil my eyes out of their socket for this nightmare fuel. The game's entire vibe veers into meme territory, which saves it from being entirely forgettable. 7 out of 10 for the wild ride. Hands down, this is one of the easiest games to run back in recent memory. I still need to P-rank more levels, and those sus secret levels are calling my name too. Unlike a lot of the games I hype up as replayable, most of them I won't touch for ages. I have actually played this game from time to time off stream. I'm even pretty stoked to get back into it when layer 8 drops. The base game is concise and to the point, but if you're a completionist, there is so much to accomplish. That being said, this is easy to dive back into with a 10 out of 10. This game perfectly escalates from beginner friendly to devastatingly violent that turns arenas into meat grinders demanding perfect parries and much better movement than I can provide. As an L streamer with clear skill issues, it had me actively contemplating what point I finally give up. Chat constantly roasted me for dying in the most diabolical places. This shit is borderline masochistic. It can easily alienate casuals who aren't ready for the trial by fire nature of this game. But that's the game's hook. Every death teaches you something new, and finally conquering a challenging level feels very satisfying. The difficulty is a chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. The OST is a banger factory. It fuels your thirst to go on rampages, turning fights into pure cinema. Explosions, gore squelches, and enemy grunts hit with visceral punches, amping the immersion. This would be a 7 without the standout work from Gabriel, elevating it to the next level.
My hands shall relish ending you here and now!
This game is auditory and visual ADHD. I'm going to rank this an 8 out of 10. This game nails the progressive ramp up in difficulty, starting with bite-sized challenges that teach mechanics before hurling you into multi-wave hellscapes and pattern-heavy bosses. As a challenge-based shooter, the pacing lives in the difficulty curve, keeping sessions snappy and bingeable without excessive amounts of filler. The sky is truly the limit. If you are dedicated, you will never get enough of this game. For me, I constantly felt the mid-act spikes, forcing the occasionally grindy bit if you get stuck, but that builds up some satisfying breakthroughs. I'd end stream on a high after finally clearing a wall. This flow is even better than progressives with a 9 out of 10. The low poly retro aesthetic channels old school shooters. The style suits the speed, making environments feel alive amid the slaughter. I'm not the biggest fan of this art style. It is headache inducing at full throttle, with visual clutter making it hard to see what the hell is going on when you're super focused. Streaming it for too long got me blurry eyed from the sensory assault. It fits the vibe without being overly generic. It's a 7 out of 10. Ultrakill is essentially a harder, better, faster Doom tailored for speedrunners, blending FPS roots with stylish combos and a report card after you finish to tell you how bad you did. Oh wait, that's just me. It redefines high-velocity shooters, and discovering new tech keeps things electric. It heavily borrows from classics, so it's not reinventing the wheel entirely, just supercharging it with crack. But for evolving the genre, it is a speed demon's dream. 8 out of 10. Ultrakill is a chaotic masterpiece that redefines fast-paced shooters, clocking in at an impressive 85 out of 100, and just narrowly missing the top spot occupied by one shot. Dive in only if you have headache medication at the ready. I asked my audience what their favorite parts of Ultrakill were, and first up we have AM with parrying, gun ricochets, and the GOAT Gabriel. I totally agree with this take. It is on point. Then we have Eisenfor with the replayability is elite. I would say the replayability is actually the strongest part of this game. And Chill Whooper with all of it. I would agree, besides the dating simulator and that Crash Bandicoot secret level, those were ass. And I would love to hear what your favorite part of the game was in the comment section below. V1 and I really appreciate you tuning in. Ultrakill was such an amazing experience to play through. Tune in next Saturday to catch the Undertale neutral route review. I am super excited about making these reviews. I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I like making them. Later!